What's up guys? So I'm gonna be perfectly honest with you, I am pretty nervous to make this video. I have put it off for a few days just because I was like, want to, I don't know, like prepare myself to talk about some personal stuff because yeah, today's gonna be a pretty personal video and I'm gonna be telling you guys a story I've only told like a handful of people. So the reason I'm doing this is because I got a tattoo, as you can see from the title, and it's a really special meaning to me, and people were asking me from Christian's video what my tattoo was because he has a whole vlog on it, but I kind of want to do my own video and like explain it a little bit and then just give you like an insight kind of into my life. My goal for 2017 was to really open up to you guys and let you see a side of me that you might have not seen in the past, to get to know me just a little bit better. So that's kind of what this video is here today. When I had done my last like honest video, I got so many kind comments and supportive comments, and you guys seem to really like seeing that side of me, so I thought I would make another one. And I'm just avoiding starting. Okay, so let's get started. So basically I got a tattoo on my side and it was done by a guy named Billy at his tattoo shop in Vancouver. As I had mentioned, Christian has a vlog all on that, so I'll leave that link down below so you guys can check out the tattoo he got as well. And basically I've gotten asked so many times, what does your tattoo mean? So it is written in Hebrew, and it translates to I never stopped trying to reach you. The direct translation is actually I never stopped trying to get to you, but it doesn't like properly translate over to reach you. But basically this is a tattoo about my faith journey, and that's kind of what I want to share with you guys today, and share a really personal story about something that happened to me, which was kind of like in my eyes like a bit of a miracle. So yeah, I'm gonna try not to get emotional. I'm like such an emotional person, but it's like a really cool story, and I just, yeah, I want to be more personal with you guys and let you in on a little bit of my life. So yeah, that's where we're going today. When I get nervous, I play with my hair, so I'm not gonna try and do that. And a little bit of a disclaimer, I understand people have different viewpoints and everything like that, and I totally respect that, but my only ask from this is that you just respect me and don't write anything negative in the comments, and don't have like arguments with people or anything. Just like try and keep it really positive. So I would just really appreciate that. And yeah, I just want to say that before we start. All right, so to start at the beginning, basically I grew up going to a Catholic church with my mom and my sisters. And at the time, I don't know if I fully was like grasping what it all meant. It was just something I kind of did. And then once I hit high school, I honestly wasn't really going to church. I would go on Christmas and Easter, but that was kind of it. All right, so fast forward to high school, when I actually started dating Christian, which was about the month after grade 12, once we graduated, and he went to church frequently with his family, and he went to a Christian church. I know, very fitting with the name. And the first time he invited me to it, I thought it was really cool. Had a lot of live music, there was a lot of young people, and so I was going with him pretty frequently, but to be honest with you, I was kind of going with him because he wanted me to go, and it wasn't necessarily at first because I wanted to go. And then it was like kept going with him, kept enjoying the services, and then eventually I started to go because I wanted to go, and I really enjoyed it. I liked how it made me feel, and at this point I wouldn't necessarily say I was super connected and in tune with my faith. So over the next few years, Christian and I went to church pretty much every Sunday, and even Sundays that he wasn't there, I would go because I really enjoyed going to it. I always left feeling really uplifted and just like happy. All right, so fast forward to Christian and I's Philippines trip last May. This is where the story starts, and it's kind of a cool experience that I wanted to talk to you guys about. So Christian and I were in Cebu City for a few days. We were kind of like in between traveling, and we had a bunch of work and editing to do, and usually when we're in different cities we'll go to like different coffee shops to edit. And I think I had like that day wanted to go to Starbucks, or like we were gonna go to another like plaza, but we ended up like, I don't know, something ended up happening, or like we decided not to take a cab, and we decided instead to just like walk down the street, and we ended up stumbling across a coffee around the world or something like that. It was like Coffee Bean, and so we were basically doing work there. And at the time people did come up to us every so often. They like recognized us from Christian's videos, and so basically we're in this coffee shop working away, and this lady, her name's Paula, hello Paula if you're watching this, and she came up to us and she was like, oh my gosh, like I watched, well I don't know her exact words, but from what I remember, she was like, oh, like I watch your guys' videos. I guess when her and her husband were planning their honeymoon, they had watched our Philippines videos, and so she was talking to us and whatnot, and we were asking her some questions on like what she was doing here, and basically she was doing some missions work. She told us the next morning she was going out to do some outreach in a really poor area area with YWAM, which is basically a youth with a mission. That's what it stands for. I'll have it linked down below their website if you guys want to know more about that. But we had said, we're like, oh yeah, like we're both Christians, we would love to. And it was just a really cool opportunity for that to have come up, because that was something I've always thought would have been really cool to do. So for it to all like happen like that, we were like, oh, like this is awesome, like such a cool opportunity. Basically we said our goodbyes, and she's like, oh, I'll pick you up in a taxi tomorrow morning. And so the next morning comes around, she gets us in her cab, and then we go and meet everyone in the McDonald's, which is kind of across from this kind of like slum village. And so that's where they were going to do outreach. And basically what they do is they just go into the village and they hand out Bibles and fishing nets, and then they just pray for people. And if anyone needs any prayers or anything like that, they don't force prayer on people. It's all people who want it. And so yeah, that's kind of what we did. And then at the end of the whole, so you kind of split up into small groups. You go around, like talk to different people in the village, give out Bibles, give out fishing nets. It's like the end of the session, we had been going around for like maybe an hour, and they were showing us like their church they had in their village. And so basically they invite everyone to the basketball court. They do some like little skits for the kids, and then they do some praying, and it's just like really cool. And I really didn't know what to expect. I was just like, we were going around like praying, and I don't know, you could just like feel, I don't know, your heart just like felt full. And Christian actually has a vlog on this. I don't obviously talk about this in the video because it was like very personal. Yeah, we're all in the basketball court and they're doing like some skits, and then they're doing prayers, and they're like, at the end, they're like, if you want to like give your life to God, raise your hand. And everyone's just praying, and you can just like, I don't know, it was like this feeling in your heart was just like so full. It's like hard to describe it. It's almost like it's like you're like feel like your heart could just like flew up into the sky. So we were praying that, and obviously like I raised my hand, and then so everyone does that prayer and kind of finishes up, and there's like a big group of people. There's a lot of people in this basketball court, and so then they split off again into these individual prayer sessions. And then Christian and I actually ended up going, because we were kind of like shadowy people in a sense, because obviously like we're not trained to do mission work or like with YWAM. We were just kind of like following people around basically. And so then we went to this one lady's house who needed prayer for something. So we kind of left the basketball court for like 10 minutes, and we went over to this lady's house. And then when we came back, I had this girl come up to me, and she's like, oh, like I need to tell you something, like I have a word for you. And then this other girl had come up to me as well. And basically a word means they have received a word from God, or like a message that they're supposed to tell me. And basically she starts telling me some things about my life that like literally no one could have known. And at the time, kind of what I was praying for was just like a deeper connection, and like what I had been praying for, she was like talking to me about. And I had never met this girl in my entire life, and so it was like really crazy and like intense for me. I like immediately started crying because like obviously being an emotional person and like just having like such a personal thing like that happen. And she was like to me, she's like, I got this like image in my head that you were like climbing a mountain, and it was like really hard for you, and then you like turned into like this beautiful butterfly and like started soaring. I said I wasn't gonna cry. I said I wasn't gonna cry. So basically she said she saw this vision of me climbing up a mountain and then transforming into a butterfly. And basically the analogy that it's like kind of been a hard road maybe with my faith, and then it's going to become just like so much easier. So the next thing she said, which really changed my faith completely, she said that he wanted me to know that I never stopped trying to reach you. And that is what I have tattooed on myself, because for me that was just like it was such like an emotional thing to hear, because it was literally what I had just been praying about, that I didn't really feel like connected, and I felt like he wasn't necessarily listening to me, and I didn't really understand like how you know like when he hears your prayers. And for me it was just like it was a really cool moment, and like so special to me. And that's like, kind of like the meaning behind my tattoo. Sorry I'm crying, I like really tried not to, but it's like they're happy tears. And for me that just meant so much, because it literally answered the prayer that I was just praying. And so at the time I was like crying, and it was just like, it was such like an emotional day that I didn't really tell Christian about that particular thing right in the moment. Basically I waited till we were back at our hotel, and I was telling him the story of what had happened and like how cool it was. And basically as I'm telling him this story, I'm like sitting on a chair, and I'm telling him the story, and the vision kind of this girl had of me turning into a butterfly, and I literally look forward up on the wall, and there's 2 photos of butterflies. And for me that was just like, I don't know, like it was just kind of the way everything tied in together was really crazy to me. And actually one little detail as well, when I was talking to Paula before we even went out into the village, she kind of was asking me my background and my faith and like my testimony, and I kind of told her, I was like, oh, like I don't really have anything cool like testimony. I'm like, oh, I grew up going to church and then I just like kind of like kept going to church, and it was just really cool to get that. And it's like now I feel like I have the cool story. It's just so crazy to me, and that's kind of what led me to getting baptized. I actually got baptized this past summer, which was so incredibly special in my church. So I had been baptized when I was younger, but I got rebaptized in the church that I go to now. And it was just like such a special day, and I feel like for me my faith is stronger than ever, but it always is a work in progress. It's like I'm not a perfect Christian, but it's like I work towards every day. Me, like when I was kind of starting my faith journey, I just had so many questions, and I actually read a really good book that I would highly recommend to any of you who are kind of exploring your faith. It like answered every single question I had about like me not understanding, okay, well what happens in this, like in heaven, and like da da da. And also the church I go to, if you guys are interested, there is sermons online. I'm not trying to be preachy and I'm not trying to shove religion down your throat, but I'm just giving you guys an inside look into my life and just something that's very important to me. And faith is a big part of my life now. So if you guys are interested at all, I'll have that link down below. You guys can check out the online sermons. It's a really cool church. But yeah, that's kind of for me. I think when I was starting my faith journey, I would have liked for someone to be like, hey, here's a book, here's something you can check out. I understand you guys like might have different views and everything, as I mentioned in the beginning, but I just wanted to share mine and my really cool story and kind of what my tattoo meant. So yeah, that's basically what it is. It's in Hebrew because it was, the Bible was originally written in Hebrew, and Hebrew just looks really cool. And yeah, translates to I never stop trying to reach you, which will always be really close to my heart and is like the point where I feel like my faith like totally changed. Alright guys, so that's my testimony story and the meaning of my tattoo. I know this video was extremely personal. It was honestly really hard for me to do, so I thank you guys if you're still watching till now. If you guys want to leave a positive comment down below, negativity can be left, just leave it on a clothing hacks video, you can leave it there. Don't leave it on this video. But I feel like my voice is really low right now. It's like when I'm trying not to like be emotional. I hope you guys enjoyed learning a bit more about me, and I will see you guys in Thursday's video. Bye.